everybody, and welcome to Board Game Inquisition, where we're here to offer you information and insight into your board games. We're kind of obsessed with collections and collecting, so we create these video reviews in an effort to help you curate the perfect board game collection. So today I'm going to finally round out my Stonemaier showcase with possibly its most famous game. So here's 5 things I think you should know about Scythe. Scythe from Stonemaier Games is a game for 1 to 5 players. It's set in a time of unrest after a great war in an alternative 1920s, one where there are giant mechs. The goal of the game is to re-establish your faction, and the winner is the person who achieves the most throughout the game. Scythe is an engine builder through and through. The game provides you with a series of achievements you're going to want to work towards as they contribute to your final score. So, how do we get these achievements? Well, through performing actions. There's a variety of actions listed on your action board, from things such as movement, production, creating mechs, and many more. And on a turn, you get to choose one type of action to perform, which is broken into 2 halves. So the puzzle here is working out which actions to use in which order to be the most efficient or the most beneficial. And you use these tools to get you your achievement stars. The first person to place all their stars on the board ends the game. Okay, so similar games to Scythe. Sure, it feels like an engine building game, but how many of those combine that with area control? For me, it echoes Terra Mystica just a little bit, but Scythe really does stand on its own 2 feet. It's its own game. Setup is fine for a game of its size, and it takes about an hour for 2 of us to play it. Obviously, the more players you add, the longer it's going to take, but it's not really a beast of a game. Now, each faction has its own specific starting location, and you think this might affect variability. However, there are so many little small random elements throughout the game, such as encounter tokens or private goals, that the game never feels stale. I do think some of Scythe's success has to be attributed to the phenomenal artwork from Jakub Rosalski. It's haunting, fantastical, yet ordinary and comical. I find myself wondering what type of world we'd live in if we had junky robots wandering around it. Everything about this game is top notch, from the player board to the minis, and I love the fact that the main game board has space for cards and for victory tracks. So what's so special about Scythe? It has to be its attention to detail and the care that went into making it. And this is particularly obvious if you have a look at any of the encounter cards. Okay, so how do I really feel about Scythe? Firstly, the negatives. One thing I hate about Scythe is actually how the game ends. So everyone's given 6 stars that they place out on the achievement track throughout the game, and the first person to place all of their stars gets to end the game. Meaning end, right then, right there. It doesn't like finish the round out or anything like that. Nope, nothing, nada. And I find it so abrupt when the rest of the game has been so smooth. Now, I hear you all tell me, well, you know, Antoinette, you can just look at other people's boards and see what they're doing, and it can become very obvious that they're ready to place the last star. Well, what I say to that is, how am I supposed to be prepared when someone places 3 stars in their last turn and it's all over? I just feel like it doesn't fit with the flow of the game, and maybe it's just my own problem. You know, I never feel like I got to finish in Scythe unless I'm first to place my last star. Maybe other people don't find this as frustrating as I do, but I just found that it didn't fit with how the game played. Okay, so the positives. Well, Scythe is an incredibly streamlined and well thought out game. Like, it brings together all these mechanics that we're really familiar with, you know, like worker placement and area control, and somehow mashes them together in a new way. And while everything is very straightforward and familiar, there's still so much complexity going on here. And I think that really is what makes this such a superlative game, is that anybody could sit down and play it. But you would grow with the game the more you played and uncover more of its secrets, as they say. The second thing that I think is really fantastic about this game is the fact it's not a mech combat game. And I know a lot of people were disappointed, you know, when you look at the cover, you expect, you know, there'll be all this fighting with your mechs. Nuh-uh, mechs are like agricultural devices. You use them for carrying workers. They're in the background and not the foreground. And it's incredibly refreshing. In this world, you know, mechs are the things that are kind of, used up and over, and people are, you know, using for parts and things, and they're not these special combat elements, and I think that's so fantastic. I love that combat isn't the core of this game. It's kind of oh, we've met each other, how do we deal with this? I'll go home, you can have my area. It's not a war of attrition, and I like that very, very much about this. It's different and it's nice. And the final thing I have to point out about this is the fact that the faction boards are fantastic. So each faction has their own special ability or special power that they've got. And I think that's really cool, and you want to try them all out. Then of course there are a variety of different action boards that you can combine with your faction, and every time you do this, it makes you approach Scythe differently or asks you to play it in a different way. And I think this adds such longevity and depth to the game that it's really quite genius. So you think, you know, you have something figured out, and then, you know, there's so much more to go yet. And so Scythe is really kind of like, you know, the gift that keeps on giving in that sense. So, in summary, do I think you should have Scythe in your collection? Absolutely. Scythe is the game that I bought because I thought it looked nice, but Scythe is the game I keep playing because there's so much in it, and it's so approachable, and I really think anybody could pick up Scythe and enjoy it. You've been watching Board Game Inquisition. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please think about subscribing, or if you have any comments or queries you'd like to make about Scythe, I'd absolutely love to hear from you. So until next time, I'll be here playing games, asking questions, and of course perusing my collection. Take care.